Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Vampire Clan in ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generated game. When we left off in the previous episode, I think a lot of things happened. We had our clan leader lose a life, we had a rejection from a very unexpected romance, and we also had our lost fledgling, our only surviving fledgling, age up into a Mistwalker, the Bloom Princess, also known as Bloomrise. So we got to see all those things. Towards the end, I said that now that we didn't have any kittens and fledglings, I would play off camera until I got a pregnancy notice, and then we'd come back and kind of celebrate the good news and continue with the story. Now, I have played off camera, guys, and a lot has happened. A lot has happened. Let me just quickly check how many moons it has been before I give you the recap. You might already get a sense of the cats in camp and certain cats that, might be missing. But it's been 17 moons that I've been playing off camera, and sometimes the moons go by, but there's not much to say. Like, it's pretty uneventful. For some reason, this was packed with events and some tragedies. So let's go ahead and get started. So it was moon 50 when we left off. On moon 53, Quiet Flight moved on from Hazelpelt. Bloomrise went on a patrol with Ibis Freckle and was taken by Two Legs. This absolutely freaked me out because we only just had Bloomrise age up into a Mistwalker, and then suddenly she was taken away. On moon 53, Master Burnleaf retired from the position of Master. Burnleaf and Twilight Fade announced, and then, so Burnleaf, retired from the position of Master, and then Burnleaf and Twilight Fade announced their commitment as mates. So I suppose that little rekindling of feelings that was happening between Burnleaf and Blue Jay, apparently it didn't go any further. Burnleaf and Twilight Fade instead decided that they wanted to pursue a relationship together. So things got moving along for them. But that wasn't it. Then Sunnytail and Fawnest became mates. And from what I remember about their particular announcement, it was saying something about how their love wasn't a whirlwind, but like a simmering, like a simmering romance, or like a slow warmth, something like that. But Sunnytail was the one who initiated that. So he approached Fawnest this time, and he was kind of ready to commit himself to Fawnest forever. Which is a little bit different because Fawnest confessed to him quite early on when we were here together, when we were present. I think it was in the last episode, and Sunnytail rejected him because things were going too fast. But, then eventually Sunnytail decided that he felt safe enough that he wanted to pursue something with Fawnest. They both gave in to their feelings. And then the inner circle had some changes because of the retirement. So Twilight Fade was promoted to Master, Blue Jay was promoted to Nightstalker, and Quiet Flight entered the inner circle as a Whisper. And then on moon 56, Bloomrise was found, because this whole time the clan was looking for her, obviously. She was found and brought back into the clan, thank goodness. And then, on the same moon, Twilight Fade got into an accident while out on patrol and broke his back. He swore someone pushed him and blamed Ibis Freckle. Now, I find this very, very intriguing because when Bloomrise went missing, she was on a patrol with Ibis Freckle. And Ibis Freckle wasn't affected. It was only Bloomrise who got taken by the Two Legs. And then the same moon Bloomrise comes back, Twilight Fade swears that Ibis Freckle pushed him, and that's how he got into an accident on the mountain. And a whole bunch of rocks collapsed on him, and he got buried under a whole bunch of crumbling rocks and broke his back. So I don't know what's going on with Ibis Freckle, but I'm almost wondering, how it's been a long time since the clan or the vampires have had non-vampiric kittens and queens to drink the blood of and take their powers. I'm wondering if some of the vampires are being affected by this more than others in terms of their bloodlust. Maybe the bloodlust from not drinking the blood of these kittens and stuff it's making some of the vampires act in strange ways, and I wonder if that's the effect it's having on Ibis Freckle. For some reason, she's having these violent tendencies, and I don't know, I kind of feel like she almost let Bloomerise be taken, and then she pushed Twilight Fade. So there was that drama. On Moon 58, the vampires, this was devastating. The vampires went on a hunting patrol in Leaf Bear, and Pine Speck lost his life in a violent storm. That's right, guys. Pine Speck died. I was not expecting this at all. Like, Pine Speck, who had this wonderful romance with Owlfeather, Pine Speck, who, you know, like, he and Owlfeather broke up, but then they immediately got back together. But, you know, I was trying, and every moon they wouldn't give me kittens, and then suddenly, even though I thought we had time, Pine Speck lost his life. And then the drama kind of continued within the clan, because following his death, not wanting to waste any time, Thornnest was ordered to break up with Sunnytail by Grandmaster Shivering Star, and was then matched up with a grieving Owlfeather to have the clan's next litter. So we know that Thornnest, he was in a relationship with Sunnytail, who is the younger brother of Owlfeather, and Thornnest is the younger brother of Owlfeather. So basically, Pine Speck and Owlfeather's younger brothers were in a relationship together. They had to break up so that Thornnest could then match up with Owlfeather. So things got very complicated in the family. On Moon 59, Owlfeather became friends with Thornnest. I think she was probably taking comfort in the fact that this was Pine Speck's brother, and I think she was being reminded of Pine Speck when she was spending time with him, and she liked that. And then on Moon 62, Owlfeather fell in love with Thornnest, and Thornnest became friends with Owlfeather. So obviously for him, he was still kind of hung up on Sunnytail, because Sunnytail has not passed away. Sunnytail's alive, and Sunnytail's here, and Sunnytail's seeing all this. But Owlfeather, who lost Pine Speck, I think the bits of Pine Speck she saw in Thornnest made her fall in love with him. And then on Moon 63, Owlfeather moved on from Pine Speck. So the moon after she fell in love with Thornnest, she was able to let go, finally, of Pine Speck. On Moon 64, Twilight Fade recovered from his broken back, but was told that he'll never be able to walk again, so he is paralyzed now. He then retired from his position as master because obviously he can't do a lot of the normal clan duties. And then Grandmaster Shivering Star died, losing all his lives to old age, and went to Star Clan. Blue Jay became the new Grandmaster and was named Blue Star. She changed the clan focus to helping the vampire hunting clans and changing their perception of the vampires. We know that the clan has been embroiled in many wars for the entirety of Shivering Star being our leader, and some of the cats, or I feel like a lot of the cats over the ages, they have wanted to kind of move away from this. Vengeance comes and goes, but I think a lot of the clans are sick of the losses, and they just want to be left alone. And Blue Jay, or Blue Star in this case, has decided that she is going to do things differently. She's faced loss too, but I think, she lost her daughter Fire Ivy to the vampire hunters because her daughter was trying to ensure that Blue Jay got away from a losing battle, and she sacrificed her life so Blue Jay, or Blue Star, would live. And I think Blue Star, she remembers her daughter's sacrifice, but she doesn't want anyone else to have to make the same choice. So she is slowly but surely trying to show the vampire hunters that the vampires can be left to their own devices without causing havoc in the world. Look at how long they've gone without, killing any kittens or queens. They've only had one incident since the vampire clan has been formed within the ruins. And I think maybe she's giving them the impression that these are like closed off lands. As long as no kittens, like we have urges we can't control, but as long as no kittens or queens cross over into our area, into our side of the territory, we're not going to go out and find cats to kill. We'll make do with what we have, and we won't cross any boundaries. So that happened. Quiet Flight was promoted to Master. Owlfeather was promoted to Nightstalker, and Sunnytail entered the inner circle as a Whisper. So Blue Star, Grandmaster Blue Star, is basically surrounded by her family members in the inner circle. So her mate, currently Quiet Flight, is her master or her second. Before I used to say assistant, but I think second sounds better. And then her daughter, her favorite daughter, is the Nightstalker, and her son is the Whisper. So it's like a family affair at this point. So it is now Moon 67. Like I said in the beginning, it has been 17 moons, and those are the changes that's happened. So we have a brand new leader. The whole inner circle, things have changed there. Twilight Fade, unfortunately, is paralyzed. Bloomrise has returned after being lost. Ibis Freckle, she's been displaying some questioning behavior because I think she let the two legs take Bloomrise, and then she pushed Twilight Fade off the mountain, and he broke his back and is now paralyzed. So she is someone to look out for. And then obviously, Shivering Stars passed on. Pine Speck also died. So yeah, things have happened. But it is now Moon 67 in Leaf Fall. I honestly can't remember what turn of Leaf Fall it is. I'm sure we'll get our bearings once the seasons change. But we do have good news, guys, and that is why we are back. So let's check out the Leader's Den. We have neutrality with Gosma Clan and hostilities with Wind Clan and Day Clan, but hopefully, slowly but surely, Blue Star is going to be able to pull us out of this age of war into an age of peace. So let's check out events. Vampire Clan does not have enough healthy medicine cats. Cats will be sick/hurt for longer and have a higher chance of dying. Day Clan has taken some of Vampire Clan's territory. Quiet Flight slipped on some rocks and dislocated her leg, which is not good. Owlfeather curls up in her nest, numb to the other cats beside her. There's a hole inside her heart now that she feels could never again be filled, and I wonder if that is from Shivering Star having died recently. A lot of the cats, surprisingly, but then again, maybe I shouldn't be too surprised because when Shivering Star died, he had a lot of loyalists, so a lot of the cats were affected by his death. Even if they thought that he wasn't good for the clan in the long run, a lot of them were just used to having him there. And then the good news, Owlfeather announced that she is expecting kids. She couldn't settle into the nursery fast enough. Now, this is something I've been waiting for a long time and hoping for, but I honestly did not expect that it would be kittens between not Owlfeather and Pine Speck, but Owlfeather and Fawn Nest. And Fawn Nest I don't think is in love with her. She's the only one that's fallen in love with him. He's befriended her, but he's obviously, I think, hung up on Sunnytail. I'll have to check relationships though because I haven't checked this moon. Rumors reach your clan that the initiate Spooky has died recently, and rumors reach your clan that the initiate Crunchy has died recently. So Spooky and Crunchy died, and I think there was one other cat in initiate clan who passed away, unfortunately. So our numbers are down to just 9. This is going to be the first pairing of Owlfeather and Fawn Nest between two clan-born vampires that are going to result in kittens, and I'm hoping it means they're going to have like a really big litter. I want 5 or 6 kittens, and that's going to help get our numbers up quite a lot. So if we go over here, we lost Pine Speck, we lost Grandmaster Shivering Star. Who was the other? Fierce. Okay, so these are the cats that have passed on. Nutmeg, Fierce, Crunchy, and Spooky. These are the initiates that have died. But we still have these initiates with us. Still have these initiates. Yeah, okay. So it seems as though Quiet Flight, Owlfeather, Sunnytail, and Fawn Nest, and Twilight Fade actually are not feeling too good. These cats were hit really hard by the death of Shivering Star. Thankfully Blue Star, Grandmaster Blue Star, and it's Master Quiet Flight now. It's Master Quiet Flight. But Grandmaster Blue Star, she's at least able to lead the clan. Okay, let's take a look at the Medicine Cat Den. Ibis Freckle was given Marigold as treatment for joint pain. I'm really worried about Ibis Freckle and her behavior as well, guys. I think the bloodlust from not having the blood of kittens is getting to her. I feel like some vampires are maybe affected more than others. I don't think Ibis Freckle has actually had any kitten blood in her life. I don't think she has. Yeah. Okay. So I think it was actually the cats born before Alfeather and Sunnytail. The only time I think I could be wrong, had the blood of kittens and a queen has been before the clan-born cats were around, I feel. And it's also, like, sometimes I forget, but Alpha and Sunnytail, you know, their litter wasn't the first litter to be born. We had another litter before them that, you know, that ended up being wiped out entirely with Dusty Cave and Songkit. So they were the first litter. Yeah, okay. Okay. Now let's check out relationships and see what's been going on here. Grandmaster Bluestar appreciates Fornest telling her that she had a feather stuck to her face. Grandmaster Bluestar woke up a bunch of cats from morning stretches. They didn't appreciate it. It's also going to take effort for me to suddenly get used to the new titles of some of the cats. Grandmaster Bluestar thinks Ibis Freckle has been acting stuck up and rude. Okay, so I think even the leader has noticed that something is not really right with Ibis Freckle. Sunnytail let Master Burnleaf down when Burnleaf was counting on him. It's not Master Burnleaf anymore, it's just Burnleaf because he retired. See, this is what I mean. I'm used to certain cats having certain titles, and now it's changed. Okay, so that's not too good. Bloomrise curled around Master Burnleaf. Oh, again! Bloomrise curled around Burnleaf to share warmth. Twilight Fade feels betrayed by something Ibis Freckle said. He doesn't get along with her, apparently. I mean, he knows that she pushed him. She swears she didn't, but he knows she pushed him. And I think maybe some of these cats are connecting the dots. At least Twilight Fade would be a bit suspicious because he knows Ibis Freckle was the only cat on patrol with Bloomrise when Bloomrise went missing. Twilight Fade and Owlfeather splash each other in a puddle, but it doesn't look playful. Quiet Flight, Master Quiet Flight, clears up a misunderstanding with Ibis Freckle. Ibis Freckle helps Master Quiet Flight hide from a clanmate. I mean, I don't know if Quiet Flight would assume the worst of her daughter. I mean, Ibis Freckle is her daughter. Owlfeather wants to spend more time with Sunnytail. Oh, she wants to spend more time with her brother. Sunnytail spent the day arguing with Master Quiet Flight about whether she stole something from Sunnytail. Ibis Freckle asks Burnleaf how he's doing. Fornest and Sunnytail have a race. Sunnytail wins. Yeah, I feel like Fornest, just the impression I get, Fornest and Sunnytail still have very strong feelings for one another. And I wonder how they're dealing with that. I mean, Fornest, if he wanted to, if he hasn't kind of caught feelings for Owlfeather, because he knows this was a rushed arrangement made by the old clan leader after Pinespec, like his brother's death, after Pinespec's death, now that he's fulfilled his duty and Owlfeather is pregnant, he might decide not to stay with her and return to Sunnytail. Because what they had, like what he had with Sunnytail, was mutual, right? Bloomrise thinks Ibis Freckle looks nicer than her today. Bloomrise, Owlfeather, and Grandmaster Bluestar had a nice talk while eating. I don't know if Bloomrise blames Ibis Freckle because I don't think Bloomrise maybe realizes or understands that it was her getting lost was not accidental. But okay, or her getting caught by the two legs wasn't accidental. But that's what we have for the events. Let me wrap things up here and we'll continue with the cat list. Okay, let's continue with the cat list. Now first up, we have loyalties, and I'm really excited about this because I did say when we have a new leader, we're going to have a new loyalty system where the loyalties for all the adult cats will be decided on the moon. We have a new leader, and they're going to keep those loyalties for life because that's like their political view, and people don't change their political views very easily. So there is that, and then all of the new kittens that are born, their loyalties won't be decided until they become Mistwalkers. So on the day of their graduation at 12 moons old, because I feel like that will be enough time for that, like for them to get to know Bluestar and make an opinion on her. The loyalties they have are going to be decided at 12 moons old, and they're going to keep that for the rest of their life for that particular leader. So that's what we have going on, which means we are going to be taking a look at loyalties right now, but these loyalties are going to stay. So guys, this is how the different clan members feel about Bluestar, Grandmaster Bluestar being leader. So among Bluestar's loyalists, we have Master Quietflight, her mate. We have her 2 children, Alfeather and Sunnytail, who are also the Nightstalker and Whisper. And then we have Bloomrise and Twilight Fade. So these cats, they are sick of all the wars. They agree with Bluestar and Bluestar's focus, which I've already gone ahead and changed to helping, other clans, but they agree with Bluestar's focus to try and convince the vampire hunters the vampires are not kind of constantly, demonic and out to kill, and they're just interested in living their own lives, because they feel as though maybe that is the way that they are going to be able to safely be vampires without being persecuted. They need to convince the cats persecuting them that they have it wrong. So they're on board with Bluestar's plan. Now 3 of the cats here are anti-loyalists. That's Fawn-Nest, Ibis Freckle, and Master Burnleaf. They very strongly feel that as cats who have lost family members to the vampire hunters in the past, they are not very much interested in helping the vampire hunters. Like, helping the vampire hunters, you want to help the cats who killed our family and who have been trying to kill us. These cats, these 3, they are not able to kind of put that down so easily. And they don't agree with Bluestar trying to convince the vampire hunters that the vampires are no danger to society as a whole. Because why do they owe that to the vampire hunters? The vampires should live the lives they want to live as they want to live. So that's kind of what we have going on here. So Bluestar, our charismatic leader, the cat's in support of her. I mean, we have a charismatic cat in support of her. We have an insecure cat in support of her. A troublesome cat, a compassionate cat, and another troublesome cat. And among the cats that don't really support her, I mean, Fawn-Nest is childish, Ibis Freckle is shameless, and Burnleaf is lonesome. So not the best combination of anti-loyalists that Bluestar has. It feels as though the more rational cats definitely are in support of her vision. So these loyalties, like I said, I'm reminding once more, are going to be staying for life, so I'm not going to be checking into loyalties every episode, unless we have a Mistwalker ceremony and we need to kind of see whether or not this new adult cat is going to support Bluestar or be against her. That would be definitely intriguing for us. And yeah, or if we have, the leader pass away for some reason, and then we're gonna have new loyalties, obviously, with the new leader. But Bluestar, she's an adult. She's quite young. She's 82 moons old. I don't remember if we've had a leader this young across all my series in a long, long time. Typically, the leaders are quite a lot older when they come into power. So that's kind of interesting. We have a very young clan in a lot of ways. I mean, Burnleaf and Twilight Fade. I actually was more prepared mentally for Burnleaf and Twilight Fade to become the new Grandmaster, but they both retired before that could happen. I mean, Burnleaf retired, Twilight Fade is paralyzed, so a lot of things have happened. I wonder if Ibis Freckle, I mean, I don't know about Bloomrise, but I wonder if Ibis Freckle also, aside from bloodlust, there might have been other reasons why she pushed Twilight Fade. Because Twilight Fade, at the time he was pushed, was a master. He would have been in line for becoming the new clan leader. I wonder if Ibis Freckle did that deliberately because she did not want Twilight Fade to become the new leader. But then his replacement was Bluestar, and Ibis Freckle isn't in support of Bluestar either. So I really don't know what's going through her mind, to be honest. But okay, that's what we have for the loyalties. I have not actually gone through the relationships yet to see any highlights, because I figured since it's been 17 moons, that is a long, long time, we might as well just go through and check like all the relationships together. Because all of them would have changed for sure. And this way, I mean, I might skim, but you guys might notice something that I don't. So let's start off with Blue Star, guys. Okay, this is what we have for relationships. It seems as though she is still very much in love with Quiet Flight. That's kind of gone up a bit, I think, since we left off. She also has romance with Burnleaf, but from what we saw in the major events that I read through, Burnleaf and her, nothing's really happened between the two of them. Instead, Burnleaf has become involved with, mates with Twilight Fade. Maybe retiring has let the two of them kind of get to know each other more. In fact, I think they became mates as soon as Burnleaf retired. Yeah, they became mates as soon as Burnleaf retired. And I think that Twilight Fade, he had an accident like after, they were already mates when he had that accident. Okay. But Burnleaf has been in support of him this whole time, which is quite nice. In terms of friendships, Blue Star, she's friends with every cat in the clan right now, except for Bloomrise. So, I mean, that's good for her. With Quiet Flight, she is very much in love with Blue Star, which is good to see. But now that Quiet Flight, she's like moved on from Hazel Pelt. She moved on from Hazel Pelt, I think, a few moons after we left off. So now, I think, even though her relationship maybe with Blue Star started off from a place of perhaps not being that genuine, because she was in a rush to fill a void within herself, but I think now it's morphed into something that is more sincere than it was. And she is wholeheartedly, in support of Blue Star. So that's really good. I think this romance with Alfeather is something from like way back when she was approving of Alfeather as Pine Speck's mate. And it seems as though she's friends with, obviously, her children, her mate, Burnleaf. We know they've had a friendship going on for a while. And Twilight Fade, she's also friends with Twilight Fade, which is good to see. Alfeather, let's take a look over here. We know Alfeather did eventually fall in love with Thornnest. So there is that. She became friends with him and then she fell in love with him. She has that little bit of romance with Quiet Flight from the same thing we discussed with Quiet Flight. Her approving of Alfeather. And then she's got a bit of romance for Ibis Freckle. Okay, where is this from? I'm not entirely sure. But apparently at some point, Ibis Freckle left a gift in Alfeather's nest for her to find. Maybe it's from that. Yeah, Ibis Freckle must have made an impression on Alfeather from that gift that she gave. Interesting. Slightly odd because, I don't know. Ibis Freckle, she is the youngest sister. Oh no, she's the oldest sister, sorry. She's the oldest sister of Thornnest. I wonder why she gave that gift. Maybe she admires Alfeather. Maybe she started having feelings for Alfeather. Who knows? Jeez, who knows? I don't know. But Alfeather, she's friends with, obviously, her mother. She's friends with her brother, her mate Thornnest, her father, and Quiet Flight. Sunnytail. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. So Sunnytail, guys, seems as though whatever feelings he had for Thornnest, I think those feelings have kind of faded a little bit. And you know what? I'm wondering if maybe, yes, Sunnytail had feelings for Thornnest. Yes, he was mates with Thornnest, but I get the feeling that Sunnytail's affection for his sister is maybe way more important for him than his feelings for Thornnest. And he was a nervous cat back when Thornnest first confessed to him. He is now apparently a troublesome cat, so something's changed. I wonder if that was kind of the major change that happened. like all the changes within the family that happened, it resulted in Sunnytail realizing that, you know what, he cares more about his bond with his sister than his romance with Fornest. He became a bit more of a troublesome cat who maybe, speaks out a bit more than beforehand and is not nearly as nervous by things as he was. So there is that. His feelings, fascinatingly, have faded quite a bit. And I think also maybe seeing his sister be in love with Fornest made him kind of feel guilty keeping that connection, because he, I think, kind of saw what a wonderful love story Owlfeather and Pine Speck had, and I think he understood the loss that she had faced, and she didn't want to take away this happiness from her as well. So that's fascinating. He also has a bit of romance, more romance than he does with Fornest's older sister Ibisfreckle. So what the heck is happening over here? I have no clue. Because it seems as though they're kind of like fighting and bickering with each other. Let's see. It must just be like them spending time together. I think it's just them spending time with one another. Yeah, so Sunnytail explains something in detail to Ibisfreckle that others wouldn't explain to her. Ibisfreckle had a rumor that Sunnytail liked someone else. Interesting, because aside from that, and like bickering they have with each other, it doesn't feel as though it's like a sweet simmering romance like Sunnytail had with Fornest. I wonder if Sunnytail and Ibisfreckle maybe clash with one another, and their clashes are creating a little bit of tension between them, and that tension is kind of, morphing into attraction, maybe. So Sunnytail, he has friendships with, obviously, his parents, his sister, so his family members, then with his old love, I don't actually know if they fell in love with one another, because I never checked that, but his old flame, Fornest, and Twilight Fade. Now with Fornest, oh, okay. So Fornest, his romance for Sunnytail has also gone down, but he is very, very close to Sunnytail still. And he has actually fallen in love with Owlfeather. Okay, would you look at that? So it took Owlfeather becoming pregnant for Fornest to also fall in love with her. So he is still kind of close to Sunnytail, and I think this whole time he was less in a rush, because if you think about it, he was the one kind of forced into all of this. He was the one who was forced to break up with Sunnytail and then forced to be matched up with Owlfeather. It's like, because of his brother, and I don't know how Fornest would feel about this, he's kind of been living under the shadow of his perfect brother Pine Speck, the Pine Prince, and Fornest was the forgotten child, the forgotten younger child of his litter. He was having to live in the shadow of his brother, and then when he was finally kind of breaking out of the mold and, writing his own love story, having his own story with Sunnytail, suddenly his brother died. The perfect sibling died, and then Fornest was being kind of shoved all over the place. It's like the story he wrote for himself was being wiped out, erased, and rewritten the way that others wanted for him. And he had to separate from Sunnytail. He had to be put together with Owlfeather as a replacement for his brother. So I think he must have been a lot more resistant to this whole thing than maybe Owlfeather was. But I think Sunnytail keeping his distance maybe eventually gave Fornest the message that he had to move on, because Owlfeather was his present, and Sunnytail, even though Fornest cares more about Sunnytail overall, I think, than maybe Owlfeather, he realized that Sunnytail would never cross that line with him because he cares more about his sister. Okay. Hopefully Fornest and Owlfeather, kind of are able to appreciate being each other's kind of second love story, and hopefully they're able to have a good life together. But from the looks of things, I don't think that they would kind of end it right now. I don't think they would end it. Okay, so there's that. And then let's have a look. So, guys, give me like a really quick break. I need to go and do something. I'll come back and we'll continue going through like the cat list. Okay, let's go ahead and resume. So we're looking now at Ibis Freckles' relationships, continuing on from Fawn-Nest. So let's have a look. She doesn't have a whole lot of friends, actually. I mean, we have, let's see, she's got a bit of romance with Owlfeather. We kind of know that she gave Owlfeather a gift, so that's what's happening on this end. She apparently doesn't have any romance for Sunnytail, so Sunnytail's the only one that's been, I think, maybe since he knows now that he and Fawn-Nest are never going to be a thing, he is kind of allowing himself to see other cats, allowing himself to maybe notice Ibis Freckle a little bit more. But Ibis Freckle seems to be solely focused on Owlfeather a little bit. Actually, now that I think about it, Ibis Freckle and Fawn-Nest, she never was like this when Owlfeather was mated to Pinespeck, because Ibis Freckle actually looked up to Pinespeck quite a lot and got along with him. So I don't think she wanted to cross that line with like Pinespeck's mate. But growing up, Ibis Freckle and Fawn-Nest have not really gotten along with each other. Yes, they are friends now, but Fawn-Nest always kind of, I think, bullied Ibis Freckle a little bit, roughhoused her, and teased her and such. And so I think they have a bit of a rivalry between the two of them. So I feel like Ibis Freckle, she wouldn't have a problem with stepping on Fawn-Nest's toes and going for his mate Owlfeather. Huh, she's like shameless that way. So there is that. Okay, and she's only friends with, you know, her own family members. Okay, so not much going on here. Bloomrise is only friends with her father, and pretty much no one else. But she doesn't seem to have any romances going with anyone either. Oh my goodness, it completely like went past my mind. I didn't even think about the fact that Bloomrise and Twilight Fade both had accidents, and they are father and daughter. So now I'm wondering, like, what the hell does Ibis Freckle have against this family? Is Ibis Freckle trying to kill the whole family? They've already lost, you know, Lightsong the mother. They've already lost Wolfpaw the sister. And now there's only father and daughter left. Is Ibis Freckle trying to get rid of them too? Like, come on, can't they just be happy? Now I'm thinking from Bloomrise's perspective. Imagine how devastated Twilight Fade was when Bloomrise got caught by Two Legs and went missing. I imagine he would have been the one to, you know, tirelessly be looking for her and searching for her, trying to get his daughter back. And maybe on the day that she was eventually found, Twilight Fade, he went out on patrol and it was supposed to be a happy reunion, but then he got pushed off by Ibis Freckle and broke his back. And, you know, Bloomrise essentially had to come back to her father being paralyzed. Like, it's like one tragedy for this family after another. I feel so bad for them. Oh my goodness. Okay, Burnleaf over here. Burnleaf is, look, his love for Twilight Fade is maxed out. He's absolutely in love with Twilight Fade. And his romance that he had with Blue Star has kind of faded into nothingness again. It's like barely even one bar. So I think he had like a brief spell of maybe loneliness, and I think maybe he felt a little bit ousted by Quiet Flight and Blue Star, because he lost his friend in Quiet Flight and, you know, his old mate in Blue Star when they got together. So I think he was feeling a little bit like the third wheel. Maybe that's why his interest in Blue Star was reignited. But since then, he has put that away. I don't think he wants to cause trouble between, you know, his two close friends in a sense, because he maintained his friendship with Blue Star even after they had parted. But he is now completely and utterly in love with Twilight Fade and dedicated to this particular relationship. And I kind of like that for them, that, you know, these two males, after losing their mates, they're able, and their children, they've both lost a daughter, and they've both lost their favorite daughter. That's the other thing, they can bond over that. And also they've lost their first loves, if you think about it. Burnleaf's love Pumpkintail and Twilight Fade's love Lightsong. But they're able to bond over that and heal each other, which is quite nice. Okay, but he is friends with Sunnytail, so both his children, Sunnytail Owlfeather, and then Quiet Flight Bluestar. Okay, interesting. And finally with Twilight Fade. Twilight Fade is the same as Burnleaf. He is absolutely and utterly in love with Burnleaf, which is very good to see. They come from a lot of the same, history and tragedies. And then he is friends with Quiet Flight, with Sunnytail, with Grandmaster Bluestar, with his daughter Bloomrise, of course, and he is the only cat that has any sort of negativity, like, within the current population. He hates Ibis Freckle, so he is enemies with Ibis Freckle. And we obviously know why this is the case, because Ibis Freckle pushed him off the mountain, and that's why he broke his back and is now paralyzed. So he blames a lot of this on Ibis Freckle, and I think he also knows that Ibis Freckle maybe deliberately kind of let Bloomrise be captured by Two Legs, and he kind of has that against her. Very fascinating. So that is what we have for all the relationships. That went on for quite a while. My goodness, this episode is going to be so flippin' long. But I don't think you guys will mind. Well, hopefully you guys won't mind. Hopefully. Okay, let's go ahead now and take a look at everyone. A look at what everyone is doing for the day. Grandmaster Bluestar wonders if being a master is really so hard. Because I don't think she was a master for too long. She kind of zipped along the inner circle quite a bit because of the changes that happened. Master Quiet Flight is wondering what it would be like to be a leader, to be the Grand Master. Okay, which is ambitious in a way. Owlfeather scolds herself for oversleeping. Sunnytail is glad it's not so hot out anymore. Fullnest saw a kitty pet with the fluffiest fur imaginable today. Okay, Ibis Freckle reports something to Grandmaster Bluestar. Bloomrise can't keep up with Sunnytail. Burnleaf is recounting daring expeditions for the younger cats. Twilight Fade is glad he retired. Oh, Twilight Fade. Now paralyzed Twilight Fade. But okay, that is all we have for the cat list. Let's wrap up here and resume with patrols. Okay, let's resume with our patrols. We currently have 54.4 prey. We only need 23, so we don't have to worry about food. So we're going to send out our 3 cats over here, Ibis Freckle, Grandmaster Bluestar, and Bloomrise, to see how things are going to go with them. Grandmaster Bluestar wanders past an old badger set dug into the rocky hillside only to freeze. There's a new scent here, acrid and sour. Proceed. The cats try to find enough rubble to barricade the opening to the set, but the area is pretty bare. Before they know it, they're tired, thirsty, and forced to return home with nothing to show for it. So nothing ended up happening here, but I am worried about Ibis Freckle and Bloomrise being together since they've had, a problem before. And now I'm going to be stressed about sending Ibis Freckle with anyone else because I feel like she's going to cause trouble. I feel like she's going to do something. Her being shameless. She's going to do something dark to the other cats. And I'm almost glad that Bluestar was there to be a buffer between them, because if they had come across a badger set between just Ibis Freckle and Bloomrise, I don't know, but I kind of get the feeling that Ibis Freckle would have let Bloomrise maybe get caught out by that badger. So, okay guys, well, that is what we ended up having today. It was definitely a lot to catch up on, a lot to go through, many changes that happened since the last time, but I think the clan is moving, hopefully in a better direction. With this new pregnancy, hopefully we're going to be able to start rebuilding our numbers, and things are going to improve for us from here on out. But okay, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all before I go next time, yes, but I just want to show you guys this, which I forgot to do. But we have changed our current focus to helping other clans, Wind Clan, Gossamer Clan, and Day Clan, because under Bluestar, we're going to be trying to change their perception of us, try to change the way the vampire hunters think about the vampires. Okay guys, bye-bye.